Welcome back to my channel, Petrolhead. So today I'm going to be installing a race bucket seats into the G20 M340i. So because it's a two-hand job, what I've decided to do is, and I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner, is don my Osmo Action chest mount for when I mountain bike. That way I should be hands-free, and hopefully with the wide angle of this I'll be able to capture and show you kind of like what you need to do to take the seats out, what fits in, what things you need to do. So you have to be careful about what seats you can actually fit into a G20 because of that B pillar. So what does fit are the Cobra, and these are the Nagaros, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and as you can see from here, just clears nicely. Because these are shallower, so these Cobra seats, look at that perfect angle on the seat belt to make sure it's still safe. Lower bolsters, they still hold you in, but you don't have to go through here. You've got the awkwardness of the, belt not going in where it should do. It's at a nice height. So it's not just about putting bucket seats in, it's about making sure that they're as safe as possible and everything's in the correct position. So what I will do is, oh my god, it's windy and rainy now, typical, is take you through the process of taking that seat out, show you the mounting kit on the floor, the seats, the seat rails. These are going to be fixed. I'm not bothering with rails on them because it just adds complexity and stuff I don't need. I'm the one who drives this, so I'm happy with the seat in a fixed position. So yes, I will first crack on. Kind of learned as I've gone along on this, so this should hopefully give you a basis for if you want to recreate what I've done there, an OEM plus look, shed loads of weight. So the stock seats, I've got the weights in the video, 23.3 kilos a seat, so these are non-electric M340i seats, but they still weigh 23.3 kilos. Right, first things first, what you want to do is pop your boot, and we are going to disconnect the battery. So before they do that, I'm going to stick a rag on here. Obviously electric's in there, so it's got things like the bolster adjusts, it's got, what else has it got? It's got, I don't want anything to trigger the side airbags, so there are airbags in the seat side of the seats. I don't know how well this will show up. We're going to crack this off here. There's only four that hold it in, but what we're going to do is we're going to undo the first one, front ones first. So these will be pretty tight. I'll put that out there, and then what you want to do is you want to then slide the seat all the way forward. Now if they're manual it's easy to do this, if they're electric not so much, so you might want to do this bit before disconnecting the battery. For me it doesn't matter because, like I say, I haven't got electric seats. Now look, we're sliding all the way forward. There is shed loads of room, and then the last one. So be careful because the seat, it shouldn't, if you've done it this way around, it shouldn't try to fall backwards on you because the sliders are in a good position. Right, so that one is now out. So like I mentioned, these are as good as dead. These bolts, you can't reuse them. These are all out as well. So what we need to do now is tip the seat up. And under here, I don't know how well you can see it, there's this system here, hopefully it's showing it. So you just push the yellow in, it's quite simple, and this is why I've got the battery disconnected, because this is the control module, and then it's plugged into here at the back. There's a little clip which you can just pull out. There we go, that's freed it. So now the seat is almost free of the car. The only bit that's still attached is this seatbelt bit here. So what we need to do is we need to undo that. So what's actually easier, I find, is actually bringing the chair backwards. So some people might want to bring it out of this gap. I mean, it's the right size gap. But what I actually found easy was taking the seat up onto the back seats. So you could take your back seats out and put a cloth down. The base comes out very easy. Rotate it round and bring it out that way. I found it easier getting it through the back. So what I do at this point, because it's easier to work on a car when you've got lights inside it, is what I'll actually do now, I've got that disconnected, is I'll reconnect the battery terminal. Obviously a tool that's seen better days, but it's just handy to chuck in here, and then what that means is when I'm dropping this back and bringing the seat out and twisting it around here, I can just protect things. So I just want to generally protect the metal as well. So just bring it up to there, just protect your seats a little bit, because you never know what's going to happen to you really when you do this. I should tuck that in there. Right, so I'm just going to tip the seat backwards, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this seat, again I don't know how much of this is showing, back, and I'm going to angle it up and around, probably whacking it into the camera because if I do this, just in this position. You can undo this when it's in the car, but the nut, so once that's out, this just unhooks. Right, I'm just going to dangle that down there for now. So once you've unbolted the seat and got it out, whichever way you want to get out of the car, I don't hold any liability for if you damage it, that's what you're left with. So it's a good time now to maybe give it a bit of a hoover around. I want to show you the bits that you use to install it now. I can 100% confirm that a G80, so a 3 Series true M car, floor mounting kit for bucket seats will work. So I've gone for these lovely XC3 made in the UK, supporting British engineering. So these are made from one obviously billet piece of aluminium that's then drilled with all these multiple holes for mounting. Then you've got your 2 mounting points. So when it comes to the mounting in the car, this side goes towards the door, this wider one, and this thinner one goes like that, and that goes towards the near the centre console area. And then these are additional extras, so these are what I'm attaching the seat belts to. It took me many a time of moving these up and down to figure out where they needed to be on the other seat. So I found out that your seat belt optimally, and this would really apply to harnesses, wants to be on the furthest setting out. So the bolt from the underside, so if you're going to recreate this like for like, you want to go on the furthest out each side. The reason why these aren't tight is what I do is I want to maneuver these into place and see how much movement I've got on these against the side of the carpet, because that comes up, and just then I line it up gently and then I tighten them up tight. Then on top of this you could put sliding rails if you want. That adds additional height, which is a disadvantage. The advantage is it allows obviously you to move them forwards and backwards. These are the side brackets, so make sure that if it's a side mount seat you get this type. If it's a base mount it's a different mounting type. These points are supposed to be 290 mil, so 29 centimeters point to point, and the seat should have the holes that run that same distance. I just have to file it out on the base here to get them to fully line up. So I don't know what it is with Sparco and their measurements, but they're pretty shocking. So if you're going to be doing this, I recommend owning one of these around metal file, because they are invaluable and you will need to do some slight modification. The other area that you need to modify is when it comes to bolting in your original seat belts to these points here, these anchor points. So go and buy yourself 2 lots of a universal 2-point seatbelt mounting kit. This is what you need for this job. Okay, these are the right type of steel to be able to stay intact and not shear if you're in a crash. So you don't want to use cheap metal. So that's it really. Yeah, I'm going to now show you installing these. I'm going to put this back on my chest, hope it records on a decent angle, because this is a 2-handed, 3-handed job if you need to film it or want to film it. So here we are, at least we're out of the rain with this job. Right, so I've done that tight, so I don't know if you can see this. So this is obviously oval, so it's got a bit of movement. So what I did on the other side is I tend to push it all the way up as far as it'll go, so obviously hiding as much carpet as possible, and then just so that's over the edge. So I know if I do that at both sides, they should be pretty much in line with each other, because obviously there's nothing joining these two together. So you want to kind of hope the bolt holes line up, and then get this one tight. I just this cable here, it's not going to hit the seat, so I'm just going to leave that flopping around. Right, just make sure it hasn't moved. Right, there we go, that's one side done. Now I'm going to do the other side. There we go. I'm slipping back down. So that one's bolted down, bolted down, bolted down. These are nice and tight. Mount the seat belt onto here, and what happens is this one then obviously needs to mount on here. So this bit here, the other reason why you need a file is because this is a bespoke BMW nut into a fixed plate at the back. we do need to slightly, it's not a lot, so to get that kit, that 2-point seatbelt kit I got, it's not a lot of filing needs to, it just, when you sit it against it, I haven't got one with me, it's almost like you could maybe get the threads to buy, obviously it'll wreck the threads, just need to carefully just file tiny amounts, not even talking about a mil overall out of this, just file it out all the way around gently until that bolt can fit through. And then we have to take off the seatbelt, and we have to do the same on the seatbelt side. So I'll show you that, because on here, what I do is I'm going to take this outside the car, shut the door, and I'm going to file it out there, so no metal filings are going inside the car. Right, so it's back over to Torx 50. And we've got a cable we need to disconnect, which is easier to do from tipping the seat over. So once you've undone it, there is a cable tie, so slacken pull it through so it's still there on the cable tie, then you can get with tin snips easier without risking catching the cable, because you've got a bit more slack. So as you can see, these are the seatbelt bolts, and as I talked about, they don't quite fit through that hole. So like I say, you're literally taking off, you can't even call it a mill, so all you need to do is file it gently until that'll just go through there. Then after a couple of minutes of filing, you can't really tell it's been filed if you clean it up, that should just slot in there like that. Like I say, you're not taking much metal off it. Next bit we need from the 2-point harness kit, we need the washer, the nut, actually use that to squish down a little bit, and then for now we're not going to get it mega tight, we're going to get it where we think we need it. So because that has that inwards bit, that's that facing forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that on the inside. Now it was originally on the outside, but I've got this lug here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be mounting it that way, like that. So the reason why it's important we get this, you can see that in the right position, is this nut, you have to have enough clearance for the bolt side, so this should just, look at that, it's like you couldn't get any finer with that, could you? And if I moved it in, it might get in the way of the seat, so that goes to there. Now that's a 17, which is fine. Now this, interestingly enough, is an 18. Now 18 isn't very common in the box, but 17 doesn't fit, 19's too big, so that's actually an 18. So I've got an 18 socket there. Just get it hand tight. I don't know how much of this is showing up on the video. I'm hoping it's catching it. And then what we're going to do now is obviously tighten this bad boy up. So we get it so tight, and then what it'll start doing anyway is it tightens, it's going to start lifting, and then we need it to about the angle that we believe the seat belt should be on, and then that is solid there. So yeah, you've got a bit of flex there, but this cannot move at all. So there we go. Now I'm going to move this outside the car, I'm going to file it the same, and I'm going to do the same as what I've done there to this, and get this on that side. I've just trapped the seatbelt in the door, and all you do is you get the screwdriver under that lug there, so you can see there's a lug there and a lug there, you just pry it, it just folds open, and this thing just comes out like that. There we go, so it's just a plastic guard to cover it up. And this can move in this loop, which makes it really easy because that can be fixed, because you're going to get the twizzling of adjusting it for different size people off that. I find that this one takes a little bit less filing. Look, there you go. Bolt the spacer. So the only reason I'm putting the spacer in so I don't have so much thread showing out of here or here. It's just spaces it out nicely so there's not tons of thread that side. So all we're going to do is the same as we did that side, and what we're going to try and do is make this sure this bit is facing upwards, because the belt can obviously move in that eyelet. So what we want to do is try and make sure it's as up straight as possible. So again, I like to start beyond straight, because it's going to twist upwards as we tighten, just by how things tighten up. So we start with it down there. I'm thinking that by the time we're as tight as we need to go, actually this one isn't, oh yeah, there we go. Look at that, I'm even flexing the actual bracket itself, that's not going anywhere. The Cobra seat seems to come with bolts already in here, which is really handy. So this is a 13mm, because not all of them do, but it means you'd have to actually source additional bolts. So I'm actually wanting to go 3 at the back. I know this because I've measured up. I'm wanting to go 2nd at the front, so it tilts it back slightly. Right, now that's done. We've added the floor mounts to it. It's about getting it into the car. The fun bit. Oh. So what I want to do is come in from here. So I've obviously protected the car again with a white sheet. Run it into that. Pivot. Pivot, pivot, pivot. I don't know if you can see me pivoting very well. I don't know what you're actually looking at. You probably see my crotch. I don't know if you can angle it up. There you go. So it's swing it in like that. And then just lower it down carefully. Then scratch the sugar out of the mounting brackets and just lift it over. That's it. The backs fit fine, but on here you can see it was kind of catching there, so it was almost going in the threads, but it wasn't, because I don't understand how things can be so far out. So what I'm going to do is just file here and here and just take it back a little bit so the threads can pass by. Oh, so close. It's literally like, I don't know, a 1/10 of a mil out. But here we go. Let's get cracked on. It worked. It's just a case of getting them tight with an Allen key, because that's all you're really going to get in with, not a socket set. So I'm just going to put them in position, I'll bolt them down. Just going to get them tight, and then I'll show you what the finished article looks like. And I'm hoping this video was of use to show you how to put seats into a M340i. And there we go. After that filing, I was able to get in. It's really difficult with the Allen key, but I managed to get in, put the seat in, and it clears. It's sound as houses, solid.